I'm going to use everything in my power to make your life miserable until you stop doing what you're doing.
Gabe, what's this film about?
ONEFOUR Against All Odds is about the story of ONEFOUR, Australia's kind of first and most popular drill group, and I guess their journey over the last few years, their rise to fame and success, but also the eventual policing of them, that conflict between the two different sides. I think that combined with dealing with the story that's a really complex, difficult story to tell, there's so many different layers to this film that I think make it a really hard film to make. But I think anytime we kind of were struggling with making it, we would look at the experience of what ONEFOUR were going through at the time and realise that that's way harder, and we can't really give up on making this film if they're not going to give up on making their music. So I think we kind of pushed through and kept working on it.
In the story, that ONEFOUR is constantly having police watch over them, whether it's things like raids on the home or indeed having to deal directly with police at things like boxing matches. How do you negotiate that as an artist? Because I don't feel like that's a common experience for most music makers in Australia.
I guess what comes of it is having thick skin coming from where we're from, but you end up just getting used to it. You just end up getting used to it and just finding other ways to, I guess, manoeuvre around and be able to work through it. But yeah, I guess for us, we just ended up getting used to everything, like the raids, and then yeah, we just found a way to work through it.
This idea of kids from the area, particularly Pacifica kids, kind of having only a few options. Now you guys have gone so big with music. Do you feel like, in a way, you've shown that there are other ways to kind of pursue your dreams within, no matter where you're born?
Especially with this documentary and being able to release it globally and for everyone to see it, I feel like it's given a platform for all the upcoming artists, especially people in our position, to be able to pursue this, I guess, music thing.
I think that's something we want to do with the doco as well, is show, this audience, the human side of ONEFOUR, show a different side of these guys that you might not see in mainstream media, you might not even really see or, hear in the music, but show this kind of more, personable, community-oriented side of these guys, show what they're really like as people, because I think that has been missing from a lot of the narrative.
There is this huge discussion that plays out in the media about drill rap and the kind of genre in general. How did you approach it as a director? What do you think of that kind of music?
I mean, I'm a fan of the music because I'm a fan of music that makes me feel something. Music that kind of, it's meant to evoke an emotional response. It's meant to make you feel excited or nervous or, thrilled or just entertained. And I think the music is so, it's such an interesting genre and sound, and I think that music's so important when it's telling stories of people's lived experiences.
There is obviously pushback in some elements to the content. What would you kind of, I guess, say to that when people are confronted by it or have worries about that kind of genre?
When we create music, we talk about our experiences, our life experiences, and although it might not relate to people, it's just what makes our music real, and it's just what's real to us. So that's where we come from when we make music,
Do you think the police misunderstand drill music in the way they characterise it in the documentary? They clearly have a lot of fears around what it's going to do and how it might inspire people or affect people.
I think that there's a fundamental misunderstanding about the idea that music incites violence and that this music will cause crime and violence, but I think it's sort of the other way around. The music is a reflection of these experiences. The music is just telling stories about what people have been through. And I think there's a misunderstanding there, and I think there's more functional ways in which the police should be engaging with this type of stuff, and ways in which they should engage and work with these groups rather than against them. This idea of when did the police become the force that can say who can and cannot make music, and when did it become up to the police to be able to tell us what music is and isn't acceptable. I think it's worrying when you think of it that way.
And what do you think the future has for ONEFOUR?
There's actually a whole project in the works at the moment, working on an album at the moment. We're hoping to get that out early next year, so I know the fans have been waiting patiently, and sincere apologies, but we'll get that music to you guys soon. Ever since we started doing music, all we wanted to do was make music and do our shows, So I just hope that more doors open up for us to do our shows and we can continue doing our music, you know what I mean?